Karibu AMG Realtors. We have specialized in selling of land across the country in areas like Nanyuki, Naivasha, Nakuru, Juja, Kagunda Road, Malindi, and the Abadeas. Contact us today for land investment solutions and have your title deed delivered within 60 days upon completion of payment. SMS AMG to 40299 or call us on +254 748 229 941. AMG Realtors. We don't just deal in land, we deal in value.
Thank you so much, Dmitrii, for joining the We Don't Play podcast today. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. I would love people to know more about you. First of all, I love your background.
Thank you.
It's like spaceman, astronaut.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Let us know more about you, who Dmitrii is, and what you do.
All right. Well, I am the founder and marketing director at Regex SEO. We are a marketing agency located in Houston, Texas. We have team all over the world, actually. Now, after COVID spread us all out, and we do full service marketing for clients that are trying to get to the next level for their business. So we provide strategy, we provide actual implementation of that strategy, anything in the online world, from SEO to email marketing to Google Ads to website development.
Amazing. One of the things I will say is I love your website because
Thank you.
You're welcome, because you have it's so strong. Like the colors, the way it's put together. You have awards and recognitions from Forbes, from Google Partner, from Up City, and the list goes on. Could you just tell us how this all started?
Well, like the company, or how we got to get those awards?
Oh, the company.
Oh, right. So the company started kind of by chance, I guess. So in 2015, I was working for another agency.
Okay.
And I was doing the same stuff, marketing, SEO, development, all that goodness. And the management at that company, we didn't see eye to eye. They had a certain idea on how to proceed forward. I had a different idea, so I was faced with a choice of either leave and work for another company or to start something of my own. And well, I decided to go on my own because, as we all are, as every entrepreneur knows, the first thought is, hey, if that guy can do it, I can definitely do better, and it's so easy, and so on and so on. Oh, how wrong I was. So I decided to go on my own. I was a solopreneur for 2.5-ish years.
Okay.
And just working with kind of clients through referrals and whatever else. In 2018, I merged with two other friends of mine, and now here we are, working hard, working like crazy. It's a lot of different clients, a lot of different challenges that we were fortunate to overcome so far.
Wow. When you said it happened by accident, it kind of reminds me of how I started, because I paid someone to do my website, and I'm sure people on the podcast have heard this story before, and I didn't get the website I paid for, especially with the domain. And that's a problem a lot of people have. They say, I paid for this domain, I paid for this website, I didn't get it, or I got it and I didn't get what I asked for. And that made me propel myself into getting into SEO and being very particular about it, especially now with Pinterest. So hearing your story just makes me think back. That's why I talked about it, because it's like,
right.
It just gives you a really good access point to learn how to connect with people and be more particular about that. So now that you've been able to build it into such a huge fortress now, how did that allow you to get into the awards and recognitions?
Well, the first awards, we weren't kind of looking for them in a sense. People reached out to us from those awards and said, hey, we saw your work, go ahead and kind of apply for this award, for that award, and so on and so on. And after that, when we had the pleasure of winning a couple of them, we figured, hey, we need to kind of push that, and then we started hunting for awards. So if there is an award, not the award, but a contest of some sorts, or some kind of a competition, let's call it, then we just go ahead and apply with our most related, most appropriate work, and that's how we were able to get quite a few of those awards.
Amazing. And you know, starting a business sometimes takes a while, and some people don't know how to start until they actually see things working, and they're like, oh, okay, now we're building connections with people. Now we're able to create, you know, this amazing sphere that's giving us a lot of information as well. From what I'm seeing, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm noticing, it's like I won't call it a mantra, but like the spaceman is like, it's like when you think about space, there's so much you can think about. So how does this relate to the business, and how does this take form?
Well, so the spaceman, the whole space theme, that's our branding. That's how we basically branded it from almost very beginning. It fits our approach very well. Space is all about exploration, about reaching new heights, about going further than before, and marketing is just like that. So it very well matched kind of the business idea with visuals. So that's why we have the astronauts. We use, you know, like rockets and other visuals of space on our website and in our marketing materials, social medias, and so on.
Okay, that's really good. And I don't hear a lot about spacemen or astronauts with SEO, so that's a disruptive brand that you have been able to build right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're most welcome. You know, now I'm sure people are wondering, okay, SEO, we've heard about it before. Internet marketing, we know about it. But for a business owner and for a small business that has no idea what this means, what are the key metrics that they need to focus on when they're building their business?
When they're building their business? Okay, so there's one thing that you have to, as a business owner, or not even as a business owner, as a manager of a team, you have to rely on data. And that's where it all starts. So if you make decisions based on feelings, on the gut feeling, on just because my father or grandfather used to do that, or somebody before me used to do that, that is very much incorrect approach. So instead, you should be relying on data and data alone. No matter what kind of marketing you're looking at, no matter what kind of business decision you're looking at, make sure that everything you do is based on numbers. And in the world of marketing, you have to make sure that everything is tracked in your business. And that's where a lot of businesses fail. They either don't track at all, which is pretty bad, or if they track it, they track kind of not everything in a very light manner. And then whenever it comes down to very serious decisions, they don't have enough data-driven decision power. So that's my first and foremost advice for all business owners: track everything. If you can't answer a question like, let's say you pay the company to like a marketing company or some kind of SEO agency or whatever it is, you pay them monthly, and if you can't answer what is the ROI of that service, you're not tracking correctly. You're doing something wrong. If you can't figure out how many calls or sales I got from that billboard I had on the side of the street, or how many sales or leads or phone calls you got from a little print ad that you did in a magazine, if you can't track them, it's a big problem. So that's where you should start, because that's where it all falls apart if you don't have that data. And then after that, my general advice is test everything, try every kind of marketing opportunity. You don't have to fit yourself into just one channel. Try SEO, try social, try offline, online, every single one, every single marketing channel available. And if you're tracking it, then you will know how it works, what kind of ROI you're getting, how they compare to previous marketing campaigns you tried and previous marketing channels you tried. And if basically by that comparison you can say, okay, I can double down here, or I need to reduce my budget for that there.
Okay, I like how you put that. And numbers stuck out to me because when we think about numbers, we look at our Google Search Console or our sitemap, and we want to connect the dots, and we want to know, okay, how do I get this started? There are so many platforms. There's SEMrush, Ahrefs, Ubersuggest.
Yeah.
Like, there are millions of things out there. So someone that has to make one decision, and an informed decision at that, what would you say is the best way for them to kick off so they're not, overbearing overhead costs, over time?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't think there's one tool that allows that. And typically you do have to use multiple tools. So the things that you mentioned, Google Search Console, SEMrush, Ahrefs, and also all that stuff, it has data, but that data is more typically about rankings in Google Search, for example, or how many backlinks you were able to generate. It doesn't really tell you how many sales you got from a certain marketing campaign. So if anything, probably Google Analytics would be one of the easiest tools to use, because if it's set up correctly, you could see where the call or lead originated, and then you can match it with your CRM or whatever sales tool you use to understand or to see where that lead started and if it turned into a sale. There are other tools. We ourselves, we use custom build tools, but I think most of the proper CRMs, they will allow you at least mark it off manually. This call came from organic search, that call came from email marketing, whatever it was. The problem is that if you don't have it kind of automated, meaning that if the system itself is not telling you that a certain lead came from a certain marketing channel, then you're going to have a problem. Because when let's say somebody calls you and you ask them, what did you hear about us? Most people will say like Google, or maybe their friend recommended. Those are like the two choices really. Because for a standard, like a normal user, normal person, they will most likely think of Google, but it doesn't mean that they saw your company first on Google, right? So you need to make sure that whatever cookies and data tracking you do, it shows you where it originated, the first place where user, the potential client, potential customer saw your company, that first interaction, and that's what's very important. Unfortunately, I don't know of robust tool that covers all of it. We kind of have to use a combination of different ones. CallRail is okay. They do have good attribution for calls. Google Analytics itself has pretty good attribution metrics. And then the problem is that none of them really integrate with CRMs, meaning when the sale happens. So usually you kind of have to manually match that. Or you can, get somebody to build your custom solution that does it all from the very first touch point to the very last point of sale.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. Thank you for mentioning that. That definitely gives people an idea, because these ideas are running. Everybody has something to, like you said, there are so many tools, and everyone's like, no, use SEMrush, use Ahrefs, use Ubersuggest, and they get confused. They're like, okay, which one works for me? I'm not trying to see what works for you, but they don't know which one to use because they've not tested any of them. So it's just a matter of having that person that can really give you those tools and those practices and understand it. Because now the question I would even want to find out, which you can easily tell us, it would be, when you think about free versus paid tools, is there substance in the free tools? And if there is, how can that, adjust to your paid tools?
Right. Really, it depends on the size of the business and the amount of kind of data you're pushing through. Let's say, here's a very, very, very simple way to understand it. Let's say your marketing budget is, I don't know, $1,000 a month. Well, it would make sense to pay $300-400 for a tool just to kind of track or whatever track the results of $1,000 of marketing budget. You can use spreadsheets, you can use free tools, you can use anything to help you in the beginning, anything for free. But then as you grow and your marketing budgets become bigger, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, or even millions, then you have to make sure that the granularity of that data matches the granularity of the budget. So in the beginning, like when I started, I used every kind of free tool out there. And like in the very, very beginning, I just used Google spreadsheets, or like the Google Sheets, because they're free. So instead of tracking like 1,000 keywords for the company, I was tracking 10 main ones, and it was just myself. So in the morning, I would Google each of those 10, and just write the position it was in the spreadsheet, and that's it. At the time, because I only had like one client or two clients, and I didn't have any marketing budget for my own company, it was enough to understand the granularity of the results. So, but now when our budgets are much higher, we have to make sure that everything is being tracked very, very properly, because otherwise I can't make any business decisions. So it's about time and the place. Nothing wrong with free tools. Just if you're a multi-million-dollar company, don't use free tools, because it's not going to match what you need. That's all it is.
I like that. That's really, really spot on, because I love how you were able to put that together and give people a perspective to think on, because free doesn't mean paid. Literally, you have to pay something to pay attention to what you're paying for, so that you can get the best results out of what you're paying for. And some businesses don't think about that, because I know, according to research, content marketing and SEO is only about 20% of use. And like in the US, only a third of small businesses apply content marketing or have a website. So when you wonder what happens to the 2/3, are they on Instagram, TikTok? What are they doing on social media, and they're not converting? And that has to play a role into their marketing budget as well.
Right, yeah. And SEO is not for everybody, definitely. And in some cases, you don't even have to have a website. I know of a few companies that are very large, and they're just operate through social media. But the point there is, again, you have to understand where the sales are coming from. That whole data tracking, even if it's just you're on social media, you need to understand what causes sales, where they come from. Is it certain pages? Is it certain influencers? What is that? And as long as you have that data tracking path figured out, and you have all that, you're going to be fine. I have my wife's business. It's a pretty much social media business. We haven't had our website for that for like 3 years, and we didn't need it, because we had so many leads and sales from just social media that we were able to operate just there. And then after we grew enough, then we needed another marketing tool, which is called a website. By the way, website is not a business card, it's a marketing tool. And then with that, we were able to get more granularity for that. So yeah, there's always time and a place. You don't have to have huge, giant budgets to start with. you can do it very little by little in the beginning, and just make sure that you scale your marketing budgets according to your revenue, that you scale your tool usage according to your revenue, and so on and so on.
Now, you mentioned SEO is not for everyone, and I'm sure people are like, okay, so it's not for me. Okay, I'll be fine. But some people think about ranking on Google, on the first page, and we hear these things, and it's not rocket science. Like, it doesn't just happen. But, when people think about ranking on a platform that is a search engine, how important is it for a business, and why?
Depends on the business. And when I said it's not for everyone, this is what I meant. Let's say you are a company or like an entrepreneur who does, I don't know, let's say custom shoes. You customize shoes or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to compete against that, you're going to be competing against huge companies with huge budgets, with probably millions of dollars in their marketing budgets. You can't compete with them if your marketing budget is $100. Or a different group of people would be, let's say you are producing a very specific part, a very specific gear for a very certain type of equipment for oil and gas industry. Nobody will ever go to Google and type in the product number, right? And they're not going to type in like a 10 words description of this specific gear with these ratios for this type of machine. Oil and gas industry is still very much handshake industry. It's not very kind of SEO friendly. So if you're serving that, then again, it doesn't make sense for you to invest into SEO because nobody will search for you. So use those tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs, whatever they are. Uber suggests there's tons of free ones to understand how many people are searching for your product, and then just go to Google and type in that product and see who pops up on the first page. If it's Nike.com or Ford.com, then their budgets are way bigger, and unless you have comparable budgets, it's going to be a failure. That's how you need to understand if it's the right time for you to invest in SEO, or if SEO is even for you. Think about, like what's good. Recent example of like social media driven things, like a t-shirt printing, for example, or not printing, t-shirt design, specific designs.
Yeah.
If you're trying to compete on Google, you're going to be competing again with huge companies, Amazon even. Instead, if you have social media platforms and you do proper optimization and you have catchy designs that are visual designs, that's how you do it. You just need to get in front of, you need to show people, users, searchers, that you have those awesome designs. And it's much easier to relay that through visual mediums, which is social media. Google is not visual, it's text. So if somebody types in, best t-shirt or something like that, or cute t-shirt designs, what are the chances that you will be there? Very small. However, if you're just posting on social media and people are sharing it, it's going to cost you way less, and the results are going to be way better. So yeah, just again, it's time and place, and understanding where the demand is and where to reach your proper target audience, because it's not always search engine, it's not always social media. It works the other way around. Let's say like a law firm, social media is definitely not a lead generator for that, because when will you ever go to Facebook and see a post from a law firm, lawyer, and you'll say, oh yeah, I'm going to call them right now just because I saw this post about them closing some kind of case? The chances are very, very small.
Yeah.
So nowadays, social media is more like authority building, meaning that being in front of your future potential customers, future potential clients, and kind of that brand awareness, increasing the brand awareness. And for e-commerce, it could be either or. So yeah, I'm kind of veering off to a different direction, but think about where your audience lives and make sure that you live there as well. That's all that is.
I like that. That was a spot on statement you made, because where your content lives is where people reside.
Yeah, exactly.
And it takes a lot for someone to stay connected to your business if you're also, being consistent with your products and your offerings as well. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that was really good. Thank you so much for highlighting that. Now that you mentioned it, the big question, to wrap this up would be SEO versus social media. Which one wins? I know that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's kind of what I just was talking about. It will depend. Look at how many searches for your product. There are tools, SEMrush, Ahrefs, and so on. How many people search for your product on Google? And if it's very small numbers, then Google is not for you. SEO is not for you. Social media, unless you're like a visual e-commerce place like t-shirts or something, it's going to be more about that brand awareness or a social proof that you're a real company, that you have real people working with you, that you work with real clients. So your social media will be more like a kind of just a way to show that it's a real company, it's not a scam, it's not a spam type of thing. And it's more about brand awareness, because if you heard of a company for the very first time, you saw them on some kind of YouTube or whatever, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You're gonna go to social media to check them out. Do they have pictures of real people, or is all of their stuff is like stock photos and some kind of quotes with no faces on them, like real people faces? So if you're a real company, then just make sure that you post once in a while about your office life and so on. And of course, if you are e-commerce, then that's a little bit different story, especially visual e-commerce, where you can post all the pictures of the products and stuff. But yeah.
That's good. That's really good. I think a lot of people will now do their research and know, okay, this is my line of business and this is where I want my business to thrive in, and then they can make that informed decision.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And always look at competition as well. Like, you need to know who your competitors are, who you're trying to become, and then see what they do. How did they become successful? Look at kind of the higher echelon competitors, not the guy next door who's also one guy in a truck. Look at bigger companies. Are they doing most of their advertising and marketing through social media, and that's why they became successful? Or they used other means, and then kind of just because they became popular, they started posting on social media. So figure out how that happened, and you will learn from that.
Yeah, I believe so too. Wow. This has been really informative, and I just love the way you were able to put it out so simply, because it can get over someone's head so fast and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. But this was well structured, this was well said, and I know a lot of people are going to do some due diligence to do their research and then go back to the drawing board and see what works for them so they can be able to optimize and maximize their budgets as well.
Yep, exactly.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you so much, Dmitrii, for being here and for just being a great part of today's conversation. And I definitely look forward to bringing you back here as well very soon.
It's been my pleasure, and yeah, I'll be glad to come back if you'd like to talk about anything else, marketing in the marketing world. Definitely.
If there's a way they can reach out to you, maybe they want to connect with you or inquire about more information, what are the options they have?
Right. Definitely check out the website, regex.seo.com. There is quite a bit of information on our blog, and if anybody would like to reach out to me directly, then it's at Digital Spaceman. That's my handle on pretty much all social medias. Twitter and LinkedIn would be the top two. So just send me a message and we'll talk about that, about your questions, about your problems.
Amazing. Thank you, Dmitrii. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.